then I'm going to do a share. And Michelle, if you'll go ahead and keep letting people in, that'd be awesome. I'm going to do slideshow from beginning. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday information call hosted by Heart Naturals and myself, your one and only Ruby director here at HBN. I'm a product trainer and also a member of the Detox Divas. And tonight we have the one and only amazing, intelligent, beautiful, knowledgeable, I cannot wait to hear her speak, Dr. Amanda Prado. But before we get started on that, I want to go ahead and introduce you to our CEOs, Ben and Paula Scarcella. So Ben had a rare disorder called vasculitis, and Paula called her dear friend, world-renowned formulator Alexandra Brighton, who formulated specifically a healing trilogy called Mind, Body, and Soul. And Ben started taking this twice a day and was able to go into complete remission with his vasculitis. So that is kind of how Heart and Body Naturals was born, just to give you a crash course of how we started. So HBN actually partners with these manufacturers on the screen that you see here, and all of our products are organic, third-party tested. You know, you can feel really good about what you're recommending, to give to your friends and family, those you care about, and also your clients. We have a lot of herbalists, practitioners here that love our products because we do start with pure raw ingredients. And, we have the world-renowned Alexandra Brighton, who formulates a lot of our products, and her products work and they're powerful and they're potent. So with that said, nothing that you hear about on the call is ever designed to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any disease. Be sure you check with your healthcare professional before you take on any new supplements or anything different in your diet. So I want to announce real quick our Love Your Liver Cleanse. If you've never done one of these with us, please join us September 30th through October 2nd and ask who invited you to the call to add you to a group. And we will be having all the information in those groups for you. And that's September 30th through October 2nd. And we have a 3-day quick start kit in the back office. Now this will last you probably a couple of months, at least a month, for complete and total liver support. But this is going to have everything you need to do that 3-day cleanse. So you can find that in your back office or ask who invited you to this call to get that. All right, we also have a new product coming. And the only thing I know about this is it's going to be an instant tea. I don't really have a lot more information, but it's exciting and I think it's on the horizon. So I just wanted to announce that tonight. So without further ado, I'm so excited to announce Dr. Amanda Prado. Guys, she is super talented. She's a traditional naturopathic doctor. She has her doctorate in nutrition, naturopathy, as well as functional medicine. She's also currently studying functional blood chemistry analysis, and she's formulated special topical applications as well as tinctures for the hemp industry. So she's going to be teaching on CBD tonight, which she knows very, very well. She's also a formulator of numerous herbal and botanical preparations. So she does that as well. It's amazing. Just a jack of all trades in the health industry. And so without further ado, Amanda, okay, are you unmuted?
I think so. Am I?
Perfect. There you go.
Okay.
And so if you will just, so here guys, we had a crazy catastrophe with the slides, and Amanda, this was right like 5 minutes before we had to get on. So she sent me her slides and she's just gonna have to tell me when to go to the next slide because she wasn't able to share her slides. So anyway, off and running, right? Murphy's always working and we're always improvising. So, all right, I'll mute myself out and you just tell me when to go. All right.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Amanda Prado. Thank you, Landy, for introducing me. I know Landy had given you guys the disclaimer already, but I also have to give you my own disclaimer. The content provided to you is for educational and informational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice. Even though I display the credentials awarded to me as a doctor of naturopathy, nutrition, and functional medicine, I am not a licensed physician, and I am limited to providing information and recommendations only. I do not diagnose, treat, or prescribe, and therefore you accept full responsibility for how you interpret or use the information provided to you tonight. So typically when I teach about CBD, I like to just go over the basics. I know that CBD is a topic that has been talked about a lot, and I know a lot of people are very familiar with it. So I won't focus too much on that. I will give a little bit of background information, but what I'd really like to talk about tonight is more about how CBD can help with your gut and inflammation and your immune system. So Landy, if you want to go ahead and move to the next slide, I will just explain a little bit about what CBD is in case anyone on the call is not familiar with it. So CBD is short for cannabidiol. It's one of the main compounds that are found in the marijuana or hemp plant. People are more familiar with THC, which is short for delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. This is a component of hemp that gives you the psychoactive or high feeling. CBD, however, is non-intoxicating. So you're going to be able to get the full benefits of the hemp or cannabis plant without the high when you use the CBD versus the THC. And CBD and THC also affect different receptors in the brain and within the body, and they are also interchangeable. Landy, if you can move to the next slide for me. So laws passed in 2018 made it legal to sell hemp and hemp products in the US. This is because CBD is derived from a strain of the cannabis sativa plant that only contains a small amount of THC. There are about 120 phytocannabinoids that have been isolated in the cannabis sativa plant. Phytocannabinoids being exogenous and endocannabinoids being endogenous. So exogenous meaning that we have to get them from an external source, and endogenous meaning that they can be created within the body. So the endocannabinoid system was actually newly discovered, which kind of blows my mind. It's pretty crazy. It was just discovered in 1988. So although it's not a new system, it is a new discovery, and we are still learning a lot about it. It's the largest receptor system in the body, and it is considered the master regulator of homeostasis. Hold on one second. Sorry. Okay, Landy, you want to move to the next for me? Sorry, my screen just went down here. Okay. So the human body contains an entire system that reacts with cannabinoids, and it is known as the endocannabinoid system, or the ECS for short. It's a complex cell signaling system, and it works in conjunction with other biological systems of the body. So the endocannabinoid system is a standalone, but it's an integral part of your nervous system, and it works along the lymphatic system, your renal system, the respiratory system, cardiovascular, muscular and skeletal system, reproductive system, digestive, endocrine, and nervous system. The ECS receives and translates signals from cannabinoids, providing different physiological effects to take place throughout the body. The ECS can help to regulate functions such as sleep, pain, learning, memory, appetite, inflammation, immune response, and even emotional processing. So I know when we talk about the endocannabinoid system, we talk about CBD, we talk a lot about pain, we talk a lot about sleep, but there's so many different things that CBD can do for you and your body. And there's so many different physiological aspects that are included that people don't really touch upon. So that's what we're really going to talk about tonight. Landy, next, please. So we want to talk about how CBD works in the body. So research has shown that endocannabinoids, such as THC and CBD, work with the body's CB1 and CB2 receptors. So THC predominantly affects the CB1 receptor. This is located along the brain, central nervous system, connective tissues, gonads, glands, and other related organs. THC has been shown to possess a very high connectivity to this receptor, and this is why you get that euphoric feeling or that high that everyone talks about. Your CB2 receptors, however, are located throughout your immune system, your gastrointestinal tract, your peripheral nervous system, and other related organs. So CBD reacts more with this receptor and much less with your CB1 receptor. And that's where you do not receive that high or that psychoactive effect. Like I've mentioned before, though, THC and CBD will bind to opposing receptors, and they also work best when they're in conjunction with each other. Next slide. So I wanted to talk about endocannabinoid deficiency because we're talking about CBD and why it's useful and how it works in the body. I want everyone to be aware that we can have an endocannabinoid deficiency, just like we have an endocannabinoid system. And it works just along the lines as a nutrient deficiency would. So like other systems in the body, the endocannabinoid system or the ECS can be thrown out of balance. This can be due to trauma, stress, toxins, or even nutritional deficiency because we need omega fatty acids in order to produce endocannabinoids. So nutrient deficiencies can actually affect and create an endocannabinoid deficiency for you. So clinical endocannabinoid deficiency can be associated with various conditions. This includes migraines, fibromyalgia, any type of gut condition like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, any type of inflammatory condition or neurological condition as well. So if our body doesn't produce enough endocannabinoids, then we may need to supplement with phytocannabinoids, which would be CBD. Our body can produce endocannabinoids, but if we don't produce enough, then we can use phytocannabinoids, which work the same as endocannabinoids in our system. So as I stated before, our body can produce endocannabinoids from essential fatty acids that are obtained from our diet. Endocannabinoids are produced from arachidonic acid. This is an omega-6 fatty acid. It's also known as anandamide. And a lot of people haven't really heard of anandamide. It's a lesser known neurotransmitter. It's actually known as the bliss molecule. And having enough of this is essential for your endocannabinoid production. The other thing that's interesting that if you have too much, it can also lead to downregulation of your cannabinoid receptor. So you have to really create a balance between your omega-3s and your omega-6. Next slide. So going back to the endocannabinoid deficiency and how we create endocannabinoids in our system, we also want to talk about omega-6 because that's where we're intaking that from our diet in order to produce this neurotransmitter. And excessive omega-6 intake is also pro-inflammatory. Omega-3 intake is not inflammatory, but omega-6 is pro-inflammatory. So it's not so easy as just including more omega-6 in your diet. Most Western diets already contain an excess of omega-6s. We get those from industrial seed oils like sunflower, canola, safflower, soy. We also are getting it in animal products like our meat, our poultry, our eggs, things like that. So omega-3 fatty acids are needed in order to balance the omega-6 fats so that the ECS can function properly. These fatty acids are much harder to come by in the diet, and they do have proven benefits such as cardiovascular and neurological health benefits.
Gas in the blazer last.
What's that? I think someone was talking. Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to unmute or I'll try to mute them. Or Michelle, if you can mute them, that'd be great.
That's okay. I just didn't know if someone had a question. So an ideal ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 in the diet is typically 1:1. But most of us in our Western diet, or the standard American diet as it's known, we have a 1:10 ratio. So we're getting way too many omega-6s compared to omega-3, and it is creating an imbalance. And this imbalance can create an endocannabinoid deficiency. Next slide. So that was just a little bit of background for you guys in regards to what CBD is, how it works in the body, how we have an endocannabinoid deficiency, and why we should really supplement with CBD, because it's kind of complicated and difficult in order for you to really get the right ratios or balance of omega-3 to omega-6. Especially considering what we're intaking with our diet and through the food. There are only so many things that we can control in our external environment. And I have noticed that supplementation is just very necessary. You can't out supplement a bad diet, but you do need to supplement a good diet if you want optimal health. So I wanted to talk about how CBD can impact your gut, how it can support your gut health, and how you can actually utilize CBD to help heal your gut. So GI disorders affect more people than heart disease and cancer combined. And it's one of the most common complaints that people have. I specialize in gut conditions and autoimmune conditions, and typically people come to me with all different types of gut conditions. I've worked with people with diverticulitis, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel disease, gastroparesis, all different types of gut conditions, leaky gut, different types of infections like H. pylori and things of that nature, overgrowth of yeast and candida and all sorts of things. Working with people with autoimmune conditions and things of that nature, we always start with gut health. I don't think there's anyone that comes to me that we don't have to address gut health. I feel like it's such an integral part of healing, is to make sure that your gut is supported, to make sure that there's no underlying co-infections, to make sure that there's no leaky gut, to make sure that the good bacteria in your gut and the bad bacteria is under control. We always go back to the same statement. I don't think there's a practitioner out there who doesn't say that all healing begins in the gut. Hippocrates has stated it over and over again. We all go back to it, but it truly is the foundation, is nutrition and gut healing. So I wanted to talk about how you can use CBD to heal your gut, because we talk about how CBD can help with stress, CBD can help with anxiety, it can help with sleep, it can help with pain, but I don't think there's a lot of people that touch upon the fact that CBD can really help you heal your gut. So CBD is great for digestive health because of its cortisol lowering ability. And this helps to prevent leaky gut or intestinal permeability. Stress can really do a number on your gut lining, and it can cause damage and really disintegrate your gut lining. Cortisol is a catabolic hormone. It breaks down the tissue in your body, and it has a hugely destructive effect on your cell lining of your GI tract. So managing cortisol levels is one of the most important aspects of a well-functioning digestive system. And CBD can also support your digestive system in regards to bloating, indigestion, nausea, and discomfort. Next slide. So when I talk about gut health, I always talk about the 5 R's of healing, which is remove, replace, reinoculate, regenerate, and retain. If you're familiar with gut healing, you've probably heard many people speak of this. This is just the process in which, or the steps we take in order to regenerate or heal the gut from any type of condition. So CBD really helps in a multitude of ways. It helps with the removal process, with the regeneration process, and with the retaining process. So CBD promotes the growth of good bacteria in the gut, and it suppresses bad bacteria, which can improve your microbiome. And in turn, that will also strengthen your immune system, because 70 to 80% of your immune system lies in your gut. It can also help with regeneration. CBD has been shown to modulate both acute and systemic inflammation. It does this by preventing the production of cytokines and interleukins. These are the proteins that signal to our immune system to set off the inflammatory response. And this results in therapeutic benefits, including repairing the gut lining. It helps with the retention of your gut integrity. And the integrity of your gut really determines everything. It determines how well you absorb your nutrients from your food. And these nutrients support a wide variety of functions within the body, such as energy production, hormone balance, skin health, and mental health. If you're familiar, I know Landy had spoken earlier that we are doing the Love Your Liver cleanse. If you're familiar with any type of liver cleanse or know anything about cleansing your liver or detoxification, there are 3 phases of liver detox, and you have to support each phase. And each phase requires certain cofactors and certain nutrients as well. So if you have any type of nutrient deficiencies, that's going to impact your ability to detox. So you want to make sure that you don't have any type of nutrient deficiencies. You want to make sure even that you don't have an endocannabinoid deficiency, because that could impair your ability to detox as well. And it will help you drive down your inflammation. Next slide. Okay. The last thing that I wanted to talk about and touch upon is CBD, go back into inflammation, and also the immune system. This might be something that people are not very much familiar with, so I'm trying to touch upon maybe some new things that people haven't heard before. SIGA, or secretory immunoglobulin A. This is a marker that we use to determine how well your immune system is functioning. In functional medicine, we use this marker on different tests to determine the function of your immune system, also to see how your gut is doing in regards to leaky gut, if you have any type of leaky gut. So this represents the first line of defense of the GI mucosa, shows us what your gut integrity is like. It's a component of the adaptive immune system, and it's an important player in the protection of your epithelial lining of your gut. So it's central to the normal function of the GI tract and acts as your immune barrier. So your SIGA is your mucus layer, and it's crucial to the process and protection of the homeostasis of your gut. And unfortunately, your gut lining can become damaged very easily. Stress is probably the #1 thing that will damage your gut lining, and it can be all you need, honestly, to damage your gut lining. I tell people all the time that stress, to me personally, is the #1 toxin. Stress is going to kill you faster than anything else, anything that you put in your mouth, anything that you put in your body. If you're worried about toxins in the environment, if you're worried about glyphosate, if you're worried about all these things, stress really is the #1 toxin. It's going to drive down your immune system, and it's going to impair your ability to fight off all of these things that are coming in from your environment. And another thing that CBD can do as well is, because it drives down cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, it can help regulate your stress response. And it works in the gut to help regulate anxiety and, different things like that. Even sleep, you can use CBD for sleep. And we all know that getting enough sleep, or getting proper sleep at night, that's going to help to support your immune system as well. I know that whenever I don't get a good night's sleep, that I am more susceptible to getting sick. I know that if I've gotten a good night's sleep and I'm around somebody sick, I never get sick. And if I haven't, then I always have the opportunity to. So sleep is so important, and CBD can play a role in that as well. So decreasing inflammation is the biggest key when it comes to gut health. And the biggest reason why I even mentioned SIGA, or secretory immunoglobulin A, is because CBD will help to increase your SIGA levels, which is what we want. It will help down regulate inflammation in the body, and it will help to promote healthy SIGA levels. And this is going to help your immune system. It's going to help protect against leaky gut, or to, repair leaky gut if you do have leaky gut. Cannabinoids efficiently inhibit the inflammatory reaction. They modulate the mucosal barrier function. And like I said, they also alleviate some gut-related conditions. There have been many studies that have proven that CBD can help people with IBS or IBD, with Crohn's disease, with any type of autoimmune condition, or any type of neurological condition as well. So HBN has some really incredible products. I am new to HBN. I have used a lot of their products and I absolutely love them. I know we've talked a lot about other products, like the BSO oil is fantastic. The CBD oil is fantastic. I used to own a CBD company. I formulated topical solutions and also sublingual tinctures for the hemp industry. So I know what a quality product is. And I know I'm very in tune with my body, and I know when I use a product, whether it's benefiting me or not. And I can say personally that I have used the CBD myself. It's a fantastic product. I wouldn't come on to speak about it or support it or recommend it to anyone if it was not. So I definitely encourage anyone who is thinking about CBD to look into it a little further. If you're having any issues with your gut health, you can work with a practitioner, but you can implement certain things that will help you. CBD is pretty safe across the board, which is why it's something that I feel comfortable recommending. There are a lot of things that I don't feel comfortable recommending, but CBD doesn't really have any side effects to it. You can't really overdose on it either. You want to start off slow and work your way up. With CBD, unfortunately, it is very difficult to dose. Every single person is going to respond differently to it, and you kind of have to tweak it to see what's right for you. So it's kind of a little difficult to dose compared to other things. But once you get the right dose, it's definitely going to benefit you for sure. Okay, that's the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free. I didn't want to, go on for too long. I just wanted to kind of give some basic information and then maybe introduce people to some things that they weren't familiar with.
Amazing, amazing job. Thank you so much, Dr. Prado. We are so blessed to have you and Dr. Ivy and so many practitioners that give some of your time to us. So, I don't know about y'all, but this just makes me want to go take some CBD. After hearing this, I really want to go take some CBD, y'all. Okay, so we know that HBN has, we have a 500, 1,000, and 2,400 milligram, and we have a natural, a spice, and a mint, okay? We also have our entourage, which is a mixture 50-50 of the black seed oil and hemp, and it's THC free. So if you're looking for something that is THC free, that is a great product. We also have our everyday as well. And that has frankincense, peppermint, copaiba, and hemp as well. So Coach Marcus is doing a business opportunity call at 7:35 right after our call. So be sure and jump on that. Does anyone have a quick CBD testimony that they would like to share? I'll look, raise your hand if you do. And I will tell you that my daughter, she's a musician. She travels everywhere. She's been doing it since a young age. And this really, really helps her with her anxiety and her gut health. So, testament to that. Okay, Cornelia is raising her hand. Are you unmuted? Okay, there you go. You got the floor.
Yes, CBD makes me nausea. I become very I have a bad nausea after CBD. So is there anything I can do about that?
Yeah, if you are experiencing nausea, then we definitely want to get to the root cause of that. Is it particularly just when you're using the CBD or with anything else?
Yeah, it's just the CBD. If I use THC or CBN, I'm okay, but CBD makes me very nausea.
That's interesting. Are you using any particular, like, is it just a plain CBD? We'll have to look at the other ingredients too, because there's other ingredients inside of it. So I don't know if that could be what's causing the issue as well.
I've used different brands, different varieties, but it seems to be the same effect. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I don't typically see where CBD causes nausea in most people. It's usually the opposite effect.
I was hoping for that, yes.
Yeah, I mean, THC typically works better for nausea than CBD does, but you know, you're always going to have those one-off situations with anyone where you could have the opposite effect.
Okay.
So it's unfortunate that it's having that effect on you, but you know, it is possible.
That is cool. Thank you for answering that. Should we just assume everybody's deficient? Because like we used to get a lot of this, I think, in our food, right? With our farm animals and stuff. And it's kind of like everything else has been farmed out of our diet, farmed out of the cattle.
I think the reason why we become deficient too is just because I said you have to really have the appropriate balance between omega-3 and omega-6. And I find that that's really difficult for people to achieve, because if you need omega-6 in order to create endocannabinoids in your system naturally from your food, and number one, you know, everyone has nutrient deficiencies to some extent. You know, our soils are depleted. We're not getting enough nutrients from our food. So deficiencies are across the board. So I think the issue really truly is that we're getting too many omega-6s in the diet. We don't have enough balance between omega-3 and omega-6. And that's really creating the endocannabinoid deficiency. People were also eating and consuming, you know, hemp seeds and hemp milk and different things like that. And I know a lot of people who are conscious, you know, health conscious, are consuming those things these days, but we're not consuming them like we used to either.
Yeah, that is so true. Okay, does anybody else, before we get off, we have like almost 60 people on the call, so amazing. Tons of people that got this information tonight that you made an impact with, Amanda. So we're so grateful for you. And guys, be sure, if you want, get on Coach Marcus's call right after this, and I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting. We'll see you next Thursday, same time, same place. Peace out.